Halloween, like me.
I know. Hey guys, welcome to Go Figure Reviews. I am your host for this evening. I am Jelani. I think you all know me. I'm cutting the lights back on because that was dark. But so glad that all of you came to visit. We're going to have a lovely Halloween stream. So it can go for 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't know. Depends on what happens. We've got a lovely panel of people that we're going to introduce. Of course, we are going to start off with my co-host, my partner in crime, the guy who helped me start all this, the one that watches the toy videos and comes to my house every week to film them. We're going to talk to the one, the only, Brooks, the Magnificent. What up, Brooks?
What's up? So we got a Halloween special now.
Yeah.
We should have done it Werewolf by Night style, doing it black and white.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do
cooler.
that on here. I mean, I just now like
the technology is not there yet.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh man, I am so excited to do this. And of course, we got a guy who said he had some stuff, but I don't know if he has any stuff. We're gonna see what he does. It's the one, the only Hammertime Horseshoe, or the Horny Time Horseshoe. I think that I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I should have changed it to the Horny Time Holshoe. We still have those shirts on the site, but
I still have my shirt.
Yeah, I might have a couple of things. I'm not as big into it, although I watch your channel a lot, especially like Master Universe. I catch myself like, oh, okay, I'm not into figures much. Oh, okay, Batmobile. I keep watching videos. You keep putting stuff I interest me. Oh, Chun-Li. First off, everybody likes Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
So
like I do need some.
These Toy Street Fighters have been like so good too.
Yeah, I do need some Street Fighter stuff for my game room. I don't have any figures or statues. That's my next get is some, and I found the Cammy one I really wanted. Of course, it sold out everywhere. But I do need some more Street Fighter stuff for that room because I have a machine, but I need some displays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, man, I understand.
But digging the channel, man. Digging the channel.
I forgive you for not having any figures right now because basically we have someone here that I wanted to talk to for a long time. And basically this guy came on my radar again because my mom saw him on our local Channel 48 doing an interview. And my mom calls me and she says, "Do you know this guy?" I was like, "Yeah, I've known this guy for years." And of course, he's a former boss because I had him. I think I worked with him for like an hour for eBay. I sucked at it. So I was only there for a minute, but we're going to introduce him anyway. He is the one and only creator of Mark Spears Monsters. We're going to bring him up right now. It is Mark, the awesome one Spears. Hey, dude.
Hello. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, dude. I'm so glad you were able to do this. I'm glad you took time out of your busy schedule to come.
Anything for you, buddy. Anything for you. We go back a long ways.
Thank you. We do, man. I really appreciate that. And we've got some people in the chat, of course, with the Chill Out Man, of course, Station Man, and of course, it was at JPEPS 201. Thank you for that. And of course, the man, the one and the only Two Gun Pedro Station as well. And and of course, I think we got Heroic Hoardings. Thank you for coming as well, and thank you for my vintage collection. Yeah, so this is our Halloween stream. We've got a few things going on. I was excited to do this. I've been waiting pretty much all month to get a live stream together. Got some people. Robbie unfortunately could not make it because he had stuff to do, and we couldn't get Jordan Condry, which is all right too, because we got you guys, and thank you for showing up. And we're going to talk about a few things, and of course I'm going to interview Mark because he's got a lot of stuff going on, man. And we appreciate you being here. And tell us a little bit. First of all, I wanted to show off my copy of the Mark Spears Monsters comic, and it's pretty cool. I like this. I read it a few days ago, And Robbie got this signed for me from you, so I appreciate that as well. Tell us a little bit first about this, the King Spot that you were setting up and your Kickstarter that started all of this. Tell us a little bit about that.
So let's see. I started making the comic about March of 23. I started doing the artwork for it. I started pitching it to comic companies around June, trying to get like like a 4-issue miniseries, something like that. So I took it to Image, took it to Dark Horse, Boom, everybody I could think of. And the only one who seemed kind of interested was Dark Horse. They flirted with it for a couple of months, and then actually took it to a board meeting or whatever it was, and then it just didn't get through. Mm-hmm. So then after that, and everybody else had said no. So I decided, well, I've already got about 4 or 5 books done of it. So I thought, let me just go ahead and finish up the story at a good spot. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do a Kickstarter, because that's what, I thought, is because I didn't want to waste it. So I took a couple more months. I got up to 8 issues, and I thought, okay, this ends it at a good point. And I started the Kickstarter in, I think it was the last week of November, and it went all the way through Christmas Eve. It raised $57,000, so it was pretty good. I think it was the highest amount that a single creator who wrote, did all the illustration and the colors and everything in it. Because normally a lot of the guys, some people have made millions, but they have like different cover artists and all that stuff. So I was the only artist on it. So I thought it did pretty decent. I wish it had done more, because, that doesn't even average out to 10,000 a book. But I was like, hey, I'm happy, because now it's found a home at least. Some of these people will get to read it and all that. So I took the next couple of months getting a letterer, getting it all finished up. I fixed some of the artwork. So then around April, that's when I started getting test copies printed by different printers and stuff like that, just to see, what the colors would look like and all that. But it got to be where at that time, around April, I realized, okay, some people have read it, they love it, and I was like, maybe I could get this published somehow. So I started going back to everybody I had went to originally, Image, Boom, Dark Horse, all these people. They all turned it down. And then the only, anybody that was on the shelves at a comic book store, I wrote, because I was just trying to get a deal somewhere where I could just, give it away for free, as long as I had some kind of split on the back end. And finally, King Spot was interested, and they said, why don't we put it out around September? And I was like, that's great. And I was like, we were a good fit, because they were like, you can do whatever covers you want, if you want more than one and all this. So they worked with me on that, and it got to be I got to put it out there exactly the way I wanted. But they weren't going to be able to spend any money on marketing or advertising or anything like that. So I thought, well, no one will probably really get to see this. Hopefully a few people that flip through previews, like at the comic book store, will go like, we'll get this because the guy's done Spawn before or done some DC covers, because I had some DC stuff come out earlier around that time. So I was hoping we'd get a few orders in. It came out, let's see, September. It's supposed to come out September 25th, came out September 18th. We had 11,000 pre-orders through Diamond, which I was told that's pretty good. And
it's, by the way, it's a great looking book. I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, I mean, I love all of your art, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. I love the colors. Something about your coloring is fantastic, man. Real quick, not to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
What, like, how did you come up with this style to do this coloring?
I love colors and everything. So when I was doing like Marvel and DC sketch cards and stuff, I was working on football, like at Upper Deck and hockey. That's where I started really getting into coloring and changing up things. How you do someone's nose. Do you add a little bit of red to it and all that kind of stuff? And that was just fascinating me because normally I would color my stuff with markers and stuff every now and then when I had to, but it looked okay. But back when I was doing Marvel and Marvel statue concepts in like 2006, and I was doing DC comics, Batman figurines, I was doing concepts for that stuff. They would tell me back then you would have to scan everything in. And they would tell me then, they said, well, you need to have all your coloring with digital. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. So it was for those next 2 years while I worked with them, I started doing that more and more. But of course, technology was different back then. You had to do it with a mouse.
Days.
Yeah, it was rough. So, but I started learning then how to color work on digitally. So that kind of meshed together when I started I come up with that style because I was like, man, I would like to do some horror magazine covers. Mm-hmm. And this was back around 2014, 15, when there were more at that time. They've went away now because of print media. But I tried to get on some, and I was offering to do them for free. And I developed this style because I thought, okay, this would look good on a magazine. So I did that. I had one taker, which was Diabolic Magazine, and they loved my stuff. And I had sent them some like my version of Frankenstein, and they thought, hey, this looks good. Do us a Christopher Lee cover. It got nominated for a Rondo Award, which is a horror awards.
Nice.
I did 3 covers eventually over at Diabolic. I think it was the 3 consecutive. I think they only put one out every 6 months. And they were all nominated for awards. So I was doing that, and my son, my oldest, said, why don't you do this, but do it as superheroes? Because I had played around with doing like a Spider-Man like that. He goes, but do the interiors like that. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I said, like, how much time that would take and everything. But it gave me the idea. And I developed it. It took years, but then I figured out, okay, I think I can figure out how to do this now where I could get a page done like in a day or two and still be able to do it. And then the colors came out. Like, I love Basil Gogos, who's very, he would do these monster covers with lots of bright colors. I love Norman Rockwell, Alex Ross.
Very cool.
Yeah, all those artists that when we were growing up that painted comic covers and stuff, for the magazine comic covers, I loved all that stuff. So that's kind of how that all came about. Use of color and all that. But
when I started seeing you do the digital coloring for your stuff on Facebook, I was like, I was taken aback, dude. Because I was like, oh gosh, you've mastered it. Like
that's what I started doing it with these trading cards, and that came out in around 2020. I started doing trading card stuff with the monsters, and people loved it so much. That's what gave me the Spawn covers that I did those. They came out in 23, but I did them in late 22. That's what led to working at DC. That's what's led to all this now is, just doing some colorful monsters and making them my own, so now I have a style where people see something, they go, well, that's Mark's, they don't have to see them on it.
And it's uniquely.
That's what you want. You want it to be where people recognize your stuff without ever having to have your name on it. So,
absolutely. I wanted to show off some of your artwork because I purchased a lot of your prints, man. All I do is purchase your prints. So every time I see you, I want to make sure I get some of your stuff. So I want to start off with this one because why not? I'm just going to show you something.
Yeah.
I forgot how to do this now. Where am I? There we go. I want to show off this one. This is your creature from Black Lagoon. It's very sexy. I
That
got
actually is a cover to issue 2. I made it a cover, and it'll be coming out about a month from now, November 20th. And I actually, because I wanted that as a cover, it was already said so about a month ago. And I was like, but that didn't appear in the comic. And I was like, I hate that. So I went back and I added 8 pages of that story right there in the comic. So you will, there's even another image of that where he's coming out of the water with her. And so you get to see that in the comic book.
Yeah. And then the one I saw you at the expo with, I want to show this one off too. This is the Vampirella that you had.
That was my first printed comic book cover. Yep.
I love this Vampirella. She is awesome. Thank you for signing it as well.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm a super fan of your work, like I said. And then I also have just the Wonder Woman that I got from you.
Yeah, that must have been at the expo, I think. Because
this was at the expo.
Yeah, that one I did just this year. I was doing some samples to show DC what my Wonder Woman would look like. So
yeah, well, you've done it, man. Like I said, Rick Fair Crypto says it's beautiful. It's fantastic, and also I've got the drawing your son did on the back of it.
Oh wow! Oh, that's awesome.
He gave me this for free. I was like, yeah, this is so cool. I'm so glad I got to see you at that expo, man.
Yes.
But I had a lot of fun with it. And I know you drew this, but then your son drew it as well.
He actually drew it first, and then I went in and drew it because I drew it up based on his. So he drew it first. So,
oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, either way, man.
But he's great. I love it when he sits down and draws stuff like that.
Dude, I was very, very impressed. And like all your stuff's fantastic. I love your prints. I love your covers. Now tell me real quick, how did you like figure out that you wanted to do this? Because I mean, of course, you were at Rocket City Collectibles for that store for a long time.
Yeah.
What made you? I knew you were always an artist, but what like influenced you to do this? I know these are basic questions, but I want to know.
Right. Yeah. I always had intended since I was a little kid. I wanted to be a comic book artist because that's the only thing I could rationalize. Like that's what you do. I didn't understand what a commercial artist was and concept artist, but I knew what a comic book artist was because you can buy the comic book and see their stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was going to do. When I got out of high school, I started sending in submissions and stuff. And I thought maybe I would break in. It would only take a couple of years. But I did get some work in 98. So it was 5 years out of high school. And I was working at the comic book store at that time. And someone had reached out because they saw something I did on eBay. And it was Image Comics, Gary Carlson, and it was for Big Bang, his brand on the Image called Big Bang, and it was Ultiman Giant Size Special #1. And he was like, "Can you do like I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 pages? Can't remember how many it was. And but can you do it in Kurt Swan style?" And I was like, "Sure, I can do that. You know, I'd rather not. I'd rather do my own style, but." This is a retro kind of book, and they wanted to look like Kurt Swan, so I said sure. So that exists out there. It's somewhere you can find them on eBay. I think they even have them on a website somewhere. But that was my first published work. So I thought, okay, that's it. Right when this comes out, and it didn't come out though until like 2001. It took that long to get it published. But I thought, well, then all the offers will come in. No, didn't get one offer. You know, being published didn't help at all. So I'd still send stuff in. The next break I had was around 2006 I got an offer to do the Marvel and DC statues and figurines and stuff. And that wasn't working with Marvel and DC, even though they're the ones who paid me. It was Corgi who had the license picked me over all the Marvel and DC artists because they liked my stuff better than what they were doing. Nice. So it was encouraging thinking, okay, if they picked me when they had every artist available to them at Marvel, that makes me feel good. Still didn't give me no work though. It's just, but it gave me that work for Corgi to do that. So I did that for years. The only reason I stopped doing that was they merged with Master Replicas and they stopped doing those statues. And then I did sketch cards for DC and sketch cards for Marvel, and it got me doing like that kind of stuff. I just couldn't get much work. And then finally, everything changed though when I started doing my own my monster trading cards. When they came out in 21, that's when everything changed. And I was about to quit because I was like, I couldn't do anything because I tried to do sports. I went into the sports field, going to do sports art. Couldn't get hardly any jobs doing that. It was, they wouldn't even, I would send some samples into DC around 17, 16. Now, this is my pencil style samples. And they would say, we're not going to look at these because you have Batman in the wrong costume, right? Because I drew him like in the regular costume that you think Batman would have, but they just come out with the 52, and everything changed.
New Batman, yeah.
So that kind of ticked me off. Things like that, where they wouldn't even look at my stuff, or I'd get no replies whatsoever. So I was just like, I kind of said, okay, there's no way I'll ever break into comics. Comics are done. So I was just hoping to do other things. And then when I did the trading cards, I did movie posters for like Spirit Halloween. I did things like that. And I was like, okay, I'm gaining some traction. So I circled back to doing comics, but I didn't really think that would happen. And they were very welcoming. Once you get your foot in the door there, it's a lot easier getting more work and get more eyeballs on it. But still to this day, I still have comic companies who will not talk to me, ghost me. If I go, hey, I'd love to do a cover over there. No. So it's weird. It's the way the industry is. But you just gotta keep grinding.
Gotta work with it, man. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep striving.
Yeah.
Now I know you've been asked this question like 20,000 times. I'm gonna ask anyway. Tell me about Todd McFarlane.
Todd's great.
I need to know it.
He is. You'd always hear don't meet your idols and heroes and all that because they'll disappoint you, but not Todd. Todd is exact way Todd is when you see him do an interview or on camera. That's exactly the way Todd is when the cameras aren't on him. He's very welcoming with advice, helps you out, telling you like, hey man, if you did this, it would make it pop better. Do this and this. And he's one of the best people to work with because he is an artist. So he understands where you're coming from and everything on that. But yes, I love working with Todd. I kind of forget sometimes it's Todd, you know what I'm saying? Because you kind of get used to it after a while. But I just have to pitch myself because I'm going, wait a second, this is the guy that I was lined up trying to get, a Spider-Man issue from the comic book store when I was little. This is crazy, but it's great. It was one of the pinnacles of my career. So if everything ends tomorrow, this would be up there on the top 5. He inked over one of my my pictures. I did a picture for him of Monolith and She Spawn, and then he took it, turned the opacity down, and inked over it. So it's a Spears McFarlane. You can find it on the internet, and I was like, that. Wow, that's something. That's what I always dreamed about is McFarlane awesome. Going over and inking some of my stuff. So that was a thrill. But there's a lot of great people in the comic industry, like Todd. Some of the editors out there are just amazing and help point you in the right direction. Like there was a Lobo cover that I did that kind of blew up. It was Action Comics 1066. Well, Paul Kaminsky come up with that. He's an editor over at DC and said, how about Lobo sitting at a table? It's like Thanksgiving for aliens, a big old feast. Bunch of aliens are beat up behind him, and he's wearing Superman's cape as a handkerchief thing, like a napkin. I said, okay. And I come up with it, and boom, it was a huge success. Got a lot of eyeballs on my work, and it was all Paul's idea. I mean, I like that better than when, I like getting freedom, but when someone says, "Hey, draw me a Superman cover," but they don't give you any direction, where you're like, "Whoa, what am I doing here though? Like, is it a portrait? Is it he's out in space?" So it's nice. Like Paul always gives me a few lines of like, "Hey, like there's a Superboy cover I think it's about to come out where it's or it's a young Superman. Really, he says like Superman when he was a kid on the farm, have corn in the fields, and he's running toward the camera and he's taking his shirt off." Well, then once you give me that, I'm off to the races. I know exactly where to go then. So love working with Paul. Power Rangers people were great. I worked with all those guys over there. Power Rangers. I love Boom. Boom's editors are amazing. There's a lot of great people in the industry, and I do think they will. They're producing some great stuff because of that. But yeah, again, but circling back around to Todd, it's a dream to work with him. I hope to continue to work with him.
Yeah, and you said you had some Spawn stuff with him now. Are you doing Spawn stuff with him?
Spawn 77's been talked about. My name's attached to that. I don't know. It's kind of in a limbo right now, but I am going to. So I still might do it, but I was supposed to do the interiors and the covers, and Todd was writing it, but they've switched writers on it. But Todd would still, probably do some covers and stuff like that. But I think I'm still doing it. I don't know. I have to still talk to them. But yeah, I'll continue to work at Spawn as long as they'll have me. I love doing covers and stuff, and I really would like to do something over there where I can do some writing along with my art, because that's a passion right now. After doing Monsters, I'm like, wow, man, the more I can do it where I get more control. It's just nice when you're doing something and you go, you know what? It's almost like being a director. When you're on scene and you're like, okay, you know what? Now let's just have y'all just go off script for a little bit and see what happens. That's kind of the way it is with like Monsters. I'm doing something the other night and I'm like, you know what? What if this other character I didn't have it written down, but I was like, what if this other character shows up? That's going to look amazing. And then what happens? So I can just do it on the fly. And I think sometimes the story works better that way because you're doing it because comics is a very visual medium and you're thinking of it visually and you're like, man, this guy shows up. It'll look great because you can do a downward angle and he's just standing above you. You got the light hitting him. And, so the story matters a lot, but I think the way you get about to the story, you don't need to be so structured going, nope, it's got to be what I wrote down on paper. I like to take it in different directions. I might take it in 2 different directions and then later on decide, okay, this one I'll save or I'm just never going to use and I'm going to go this direction. So I do that a lot. I approach the artwork like I'm directing a movie, basically.
Okay.
It later on. So there'll be a lot of times where I have a panel or 2 that I just wasted my time fixing because I never used it. But that's the way it is. I work better that way, I think.
I hear you, man. That's not bad at all. Now, we do have some questions in the chat. And chat, keep asking questions for Mark. If you have any questions for Mark or anybody on the panel, we haven't had Brooks or Hammertime talk. But first of all, do you guys have any questions for Mark right now?
Yeah, I was actually like, I used to know Mark like somewhat from his days. He ran he was a part owner of the comic shop that I went to, the first comic shop I went to, which was initially the Comic Corner and became Rocket City Collectibles.
Yeah.
But since then, have you done any work like in like comic shops or anything like that?
No, that was and I hated leaving there. I left at that time. I got offered to work at home doing like it was artwork, but it wasn't for comics. It was more like commercial art, like you would do for flyers and all that kind of stuff. And I just had a son, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the time I step away because I could do this. And then try to still, but my passion was doing comic art. So I was still going to try to do that on the side and always send in stuff, always be working on that. But I tell you what, of all the stuff I've ever done in my life, the only thing that I keep coming back to all the time is working at a comic book store. I keep thinking about that all the time because the connections you make there, the people were amazing. And I wish I had that again. I mean, that's just a thing. If I could go back any time in my life, like a work experience, it would be just have one more day back at the Comic Corner or Rocket City, you know, because we changed the name. Just because, dude, I just love being in there, and all those guys come in and they're wanting their box and they're talking to you about, like, man, you know, Superman. I don't know if Superman could beat the Hulk and all this kind of stuff. It was just the most fun. And I worked with great people there. You remember, you know, Richard and Robbie and Alex, and it's just sad. But that time is gone, and I keep thinking about it. One day, if I have enough money, I would love to open a comic book store and just go in there and be working on comics. But I guess I'd not get much work done. But you know, while people coming in there, that would be so fun. But maybe I could have a backroom studio and then come out on my breaks and just say hi to everybody.
Man, that would be nice. I wouldn't mind go back to your store if you ever had a store again.
I tell you, I mean, back then it didn't make me a lot of money or anything, but it was, again, it makes you so happy. I understand why there's people that have toy stores, and I'd love to own a toy store too, because that would make me just as happy. But toys or comics, or we had like both back then. Those are just, I think the passion of it just makes it so fun, right? Yeah. And that's what you want to do. You want to have a place that you're very passionate about. So
absolutely. Well, I'm going to get to the chat for questions. One collection down, who is Fable Station. Thank you for being in our chat. I'm going to bring up your question now. It is, what character, Mark, would you love to do a cover for?
Oh, gosh. Dynamite had contacted me the other day and asked me the same question. I said, man, give me Silverhawks. I would do that almost for free because I love the Silverhawks so much. I love the Thundercats. I would do a cover. I wrote Skybound. I hadn't ever got an offer for it, but I would love to do G.I. Joe or Cobra on a cover, right? Any of them. You give me Shipwreck. Give me all the Joes. I don't care. All the Cobra guys. It doesn't matter. Over like at Marvel, before I ever quit, I would love to do a Hulk cover and a Spider-Man cover. Those are like on my bucket list. And over at DC, the only character I haven't got to do yet, because Shazam was on my list, but I just did a Shazam cover. I finished it up last night, and I have another Shazam cover coming out in January. But I always want to do a Firestorm cover, the Ronnie Raymond Firestorm.
That would be cool.
Back, you know, the way he looked with the superpowers, right? With the big old baggy sleeves. And I don't know. I even might pitch a Firestorm story to DC because I love that character so much. That's part of my childhood, man. When superpowers came on, that was a game changer from Super Friends to Superpowers to me.
Absolutely.
And then other IPs like that, like He-Man, these are things that I love so much. If they said, Mark, we have no money, could you still do it? I would say yes. That's how much I love you. Master of the Universe, I would do in a heartbeat. Transformers. I mean, you know, come on. And then,
Transformers, yeah.
I mean, basically any of those cartoon shows back then. I would love to do horror covers, like if there was a Friday the 13th comic or a Michael Myers comic. Nightmare on Elm Street comic. Again, because I never get a chance to do those kind of characters. So would love to do any of that. But that's basically it that I can think of. Okay.
That's not bad. That's a lot of covers, man. Yeah. You got like 30 ready in the barrel, ready to go.
Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, we got Tony the Hitman Horton. Sup, Tony Station. We've got a question here as well. What was the hardest part of about producing your create? I'm guessing he's asking what's the hardest part about producing your creations.
I think that's Anthony, man. I know him from high school. Long time. Yeah. It's if he's talking about like when you're doing like an entrepreneur doing it, that's tough because you're gambling on yourself. When I did the trading cards, I was like, well, people want these, and I tested the market a little bit, and they were like, everybody seemed to want it. So I did a Kickstarter. That helped because I had no money to make those cards. But when I had the Kickstarter, I had enough to do it. So it was a little bit at a time. And then again, doing the Kickstarter for the Monsters comic, you're betting on yourself because I had all that artwork done already. So I bet on myself that somebody would like this eventually.
Yeah.
Todd says the difference between an entrepreneur and a non-entrepreneur is if you're going to jump over the cliff, one guy, the non-entrepreneur, will be stand up the cliff, look down, and be like, man, I don't know. This is tough. The entrepreneur gets a running start and just jumps. And it's true. It's you take a gamble and a risk, and it's not always going to pan out. I've had things like things that I thought, oh, this will do well, and it didn't do as well as I thought. Maybe a cover and stuff like that. But if he's talking about doing creation like covers and all that stuff, that's just sitting down and doing it, right? I remember back at the comic book store when I would send in submissions, and it would take me so long to do like 5 pages because I would self-doubt myself. Like, is this page good enough? Nope. Wrinkle it up, throw it away, do another page. You've got to kind of get to a confidence where there's that doubt's gone, right? Like,
it's got to leave.
Todd's giving some advice where he goes, look, you're going to have, say you got 5 panels on a page. Just make sure one of them's good. The other ones people will forgive. They'll be like, okay, he didn't do a great background on that one. Who cares? But this other one, that's eye-catching. So I take a lot of advice from Todd, man, because, he's been there. He's done it.
He's Todd McFarlane. I totally agree. Sorry, I'm a stand for Todd. I don't know.
To me, though, it's I think it's really just, though, you've just got to keep at it. If you're trying to create something new, if you're trying to make your own thing, it's tough, though, because if I hadn't had the things I had already to stand on, I don't think Monsters is a success like it would be if I didn't have the trading cards, right, that already were out there. If I didn't have the Spawn covers that were already out there, or the DC covers and all that. So I built on all of it, and it was all right timing. And you know what? Another big thing is luck. It's man, I mean, we're all just lucky in life, and things happen.
Right time.
Yeah, right place, right time. I never thought we were hoping to have #1 issue of Monsters sold out by Halloween. Right. That was my hope. That's what we talked to Ken Spot about. And they said, Mark, might not, though. And I said, well, I'm going to book a bunch of appearances, and I'm going to help sell these books. I found out most stores were sold out that Wednesday night when they got it. Midtown and Golden Apple, the biggest ones, they weren't sold out till around, I think they had 2 covers that night at Golden Apple. By around the weekend, they were sold out. So we had a sellout, and we're like, man, this is better than we thought. And then we get the #1 trending comic in the world. And and that's of all comics. That's not of comics that came out that week, right? That's Deadpool's first appearance, right?
Yeah.
So we beat out all those with the Bridezilla cover for 2 weeks in a row. She was #1. Then on the 3rd week, she was #7. The 4th week, we had 2 new covers that had come out originally, but they jumped in the top 10. It was the Dracula cover was 5, and the cover that you had was like #9. We dropped out for the first time. We dropped off the top 10 at cover price, or top 20 this week, because New York Comic Con, right? You have all these covers released, so we went on at the end. But it's amazing, man. We've gotten 14,000 pre-orders for #2, which will be out in a month. November 20th.
Okay.
And not since Turtles has anybody had a upward spiral like the going upwards for issue 2. Normally, issue 2 drops 50% to 40%. If you drop 30%, it's considered a hit, a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
It went up 30%. Like I said, so that the only time that we can even find out it ever happened was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s. First issue was 3,000, second issue was 16,000, and that was produced 10 months later, though, right? Mm-hmm. So, that's a different thing. So the next week, a week from today, the second printing comes out, and it's supposed to do pretty decent. The numbers were, I think we did 3,000 some odd copies for that, and it's got a Halloween cover on it, and then there's an incentive cover like your T-shirt that's coming out, and that I think those hopefully those will sell out, and we'll have to go to the third printing. Wouldn't that be something? I mean,
yeah, that would be awesome, dude.
But I never dreamed of the success for this to be as big as it is. I was just hoping to be able to tell the story I wanted to tell. And I was hoping that that's what Ken Spot had asked me, like, what are you hoping? And I was like, if I can get to where I can eventually do issues 9, 10, 11, 12, and all this, that's all I really want. Because I said that, and I think it's pretty much guaranteed now, this is going to be an ongoing series.
Good deal. Well, I'm buying all of them, dude. I'm buying all of them.
Buy them all and buy 2 copies. There you go.
That's right. A little bit more questions. We got Nicholas Mastermico. Thank you for joining us. I'm butchering your last name. I apologize. He asked, how do you decide on laying out a page in the comic? What do you decide on the focus points?
That it's almost like when you study storytelling in movies and stuff like that, there's always someone's talking, you got like a camera behind you where you'll see like the guy's ear and shoulder, and then the other guy in the foreground, things like that. That's pretty easy.
Storyboarding.
Yeah, it's like storyboarding. Yeah, in your when two people having conversations, stuff like that. So I studied storytelling and storyboarding and stuff for years. I just never got a chance to show people what I could do with it. And finally, with this, I was able to show them like, hey, I know how to tell a story. And one thing, Understanding Comics is a book out there. That's great. I read it back at the comic book store 20 years ago. Scott McCloud, I think's his name, did it. How big the gutter is matters. Like if it's a real thick gutter, that means time is passing slower. If it's a real thin gutter, it's going faster. So there's a lot of cool comic book tricks to storytelling. But yeah, basically when I do something, I just think, what do I want to see on this page? Another little trick is somebody's out there that draws and everything. And I learned this from Todd is don't ever have the same head size unless it's on purpose for some reason you're doing the same shot over and over. But like if you got, say Jelani's on a page and you got a big shot of Jelani up front, then the next panel it's smaller. You don't want to have the same small size because size in your brain makes you think how important something is, right? Mm-hmm. So the most important panel needs to be bigger. Bigger, it could be bigger as in you're expanding it out, showing you everything that's happening in the whole background. Or it could be just a huge shot of like Jelani's face. That means that's more important. So, so things like that when you're laying it out. But you also think about like what's cool and what are people really wanting to see. Like when I was looking at those pages of the creature and that girl in the bikini, I was like, they want to see him come out of the water with water going everywhere and him holding her up. And so that's a splash page. And I think it's hilarious because it's splashing water on it.
Right. Splash.
Yeah.
Totally get it. All right. Well, Nicholas, thanks for the question. We're going to go to Chill Out, man. We got to skip you, Tony. I'm going to ask one more from Tony, but I want to do Chill Out, man. Good grief, man. You guys are being too nice asking this man all the easy questions. It's time for someone to ask a real question. Who's your favorite Thundercat, mister?
Dude, that's a tough one because, when I was growing up, I might say Tigra, right? Because I love Tiger and the Whip and all that. But dude, if I got a chance to do only one of them, it would have to be Lino, though. You know, you got to go with Lino, right? The Sword of Omens. But yeah, that again, I would love to do that over there. Hopefully that'll happen eventually, because that is something, man, it's just my childhood. I just keep thinking about, buying that. I remember buying Lino at Heels. I bought it at Heels Toy Store, if you remember them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would say Lino. My favorite Silverhawk would be probably Quicksilver. I guess I'd have to go. But man, the villains are amazing. The Silverhawks villains and the Thundercat villains are just amazing. There's so many to pick from.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. All right, Sheila, man, we got it. Thank you for that question. I'll go back up to Tony real quick. Tony's got another one saying, what has been the most challenging part of getting your IP out? Sorry.
That is, well, like I said, with Kickstarter and stuff, you can do those things. It's getting people to care about the IP, right? So, like, I don't know if I would have done superheroes instead of monsters, right? Superhero cards. I don't know. Would it have been the same way? I don't know. I don't know what would have happened there. I do think now, though, I've gotten to a certain point where I could put out, whatever I want. Like if I wanted to do a Western comic, I think I can get enough people to go over there and try it. But I think you need to have a great IP because you're competing against so much stuff out there. You're not even just competing against the big comic companies, right? Mm-hmm. That's one thing. But man, there are hundreds and maybe thousands of Kickstarter and crowdfunded projects with original IPs, right? Mm-hmm. And you're competing against them too. So it's
true.
I think what you have to do is get a name for yourself first. Then you could take those people over there to that. If you get what I'm saying, like do maybe covers or do like I did the trading cards. So I was building up a reputation with some fans, and then I took them over there to a thing that wasn't too far from what they knew me as, right? Like if you do Spawn covers and I got a book called Monsters, that's not too far away from one IP to the other. But it's challenging because still to this day, I don't with my IP. What do I do with licensing and stuff like that later on? I don't know. Monsters could start declining on issue 3 and stuff. So you just have to take it in stride and hope for the best and always continue also coming up with new ideas. Like I'm still pitching, even to this day, I'll pitch to Boom and Dark Horse about other things that aren't related to my monster series. Because the thing is, the more bullets you put in your gun and to shoot at a target, the better your odds are hitting that target. So I would do things like that. But I have not ever gotten anything greenlit over at another independent comic company yet. And I thought I had some good ideas. So it's going to take a great idea for them to go, yeah, we'll do that one. So but I'm still trying.
Okay. Good question, Tony. Thank you for that. And thank you, Mark, for the answer. That wasn't half bad. It never hurts to continue trying. Shoot your shots. Make sure that you get it and do the things that are possible. I really like that message, man. It really works out. John, did you have any questions? Did you want to ask?
No, I had a couple, but I think other people asked them. One I'd like to see him work on, but unfortunately, this writer also is an artist and doesn't have other people do. But I think Mark could do an awesome Hunter Rose Grendel. I would love to see something like that. I think he would do a badass Grendel for sure. But again, he, not necessarily a person who collaborates. So that's, I don't know. Maybe he could do a cover or something. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
Incredible covers, by the way. Like I know your monster stuff, but then I seeing more and more of the covers you've done. I'm like, man, this guy's got some range, man.
I also do one place like I think it's Severin is a place that does horror movies and stuff like that. Put stuff out. I do packaging stuff for them, like box covers for Blu-rays and stuff like that. So I try to do a little bit of everything. I'm getting to a point now where I can say, okay, I don't think I want to do that. So before I was having to basically say yes to everything, but I'm getting to where my schedule can get filled up where I can be more picky. But yeah, I try to show them though. I was shocked when DC hired me. I was like, I know what they're going to say. The first thing out the gate is do something scary, right? Because I'd been known for Monsters, for Spawn, and even Headless Horseman special at Dark Horse. No, they said do a Superman cover the first thing. So I was like, wow. So I love that they didn't stereotype me into one thing. And I like it where I can draw inspiration from my monster stuff if they need something a little edgy or scary, but I don't have to. So that's nice. I do like showing my range though, that I can do all kinds of stuff. I can do heartwarming covers to scary covers, I guess.
All right. Well, you getting some praise in the chat, man. This isn't half bad.
Someone should post a link to that card game that's coming out, because he's done the cards. But have you guys seen that card game coming out? It's got the figurines. It's like actual playable card game, and he did the artwork for that. Because the cards are nice, but I'm more into collectible card games. I play card games with my nephew, and I play Card Fight. And I'm like, oh, okay, these are beautiful cards, but I don't really collect cards. And then I saw this, and I'm like, oh, and it even has miniatures. I don't know who did the miniatures. That looks freaking awesome, by the way.
That's Destiny Horizons is producing it. They had reached out about a year ago and said, hey, we got this idea. Could we use your artwork on it? And I was like, yeah, we can work out a deal. We can do that. And they even have miniature figurines for it. And the thing is, I was worried, will the game be good and all that? All the reviews of everybody who's played that game have loved it. They've taken the game to all the gaming cons and stuff, and there's plenty of YouTube videos out there where people are reviewing it. It's on Kickstarter right now. I think it goes through the end of the month. It's probably got about 7-8 more days. But yeah, if you want to get in on that, it'll be out. I think this was the second round of crowdfunding for it. They did one on BackerKit. They're doing this one, and it'll be out around, I want to say June of next year, something like that, when they get it all printed up and everything. But I've heard it's great. It's a game that you can also play by yourself. They actually have a single player on it, which I was thought, oh, that's kind of cool, because a lot of people are like, man, I'm home tonight. There's no one else here, but you can actually play it. So yeah, I had a copy here. I don't know where it is now, but I had a copy here somewhere of one of the prototypes, but I don't see it near me. But it's great. Yeah, I encourage people to go grab one. I think they'll enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, this is a toy channel. I do want to put that out there. We have been talking comics for almost an hour, which is not bad, because Mark is a comic book artist. I want to ask another question. What toys do you enjoy? What toys do you collect, or do you collect at all?
Yeah, when I can afford to collect them. Let's see, I've gotten Hot Toys, man, are great, but I have to limit those. Yeah, I have to limit those to like one at Christmas, right? Because they're so expensive. But those are amazing. Master of the Universe, I grab up some of those. Here though, where I'm at, there's hardly any on the shelves. So I have to get those usually online, which is sad. But those G.I. Joe, I still grab any of the ones that I'm like, wow, I remember this figure as a kid, and this figure is even better now, so I grabbed that figure, Croc Master, and the one I need right now that I found it at a Walmart when I was traveling to a con. I didn't get it. Is it Big Boa or whatever? He's got the
Big Boa. Yeah, we reviewed that on our channel.
Yeah, I got to get that one. But any of them that I remember as a kid that I played with the most, that's kind of the ones I collect. And then Marvel Legends, I get anytime I see something, I can't pass up. McFarlane stuff on the DC stuff, because there's so much of it, I can't get it all. But if it's something that I'm like, okay, I've never seen something like this before. They never did this. So I'll grab that. I love his Superpowers line though, because I was a big Superpowers fan. So any of those. He just released the other day at New York Comic Con what's coming out. He's going to do a Lobo, so I'm definitely getting the Lobo. There was a cool looking Robin. So basically the Superpowers line. Trying to think if there's something else that I get. I guess that's about it. NECA stuff, man. Any horror stuff.
Any horror NECA. Yeah, I understand.
I love that. I love that they did the packaging on those NECA monsters of the Remco backs. If y'all know what I'm talking about, where it has a big picture on the back. And they did it with, that's another thing I got. I don't know if it's over there. Dungeons and Dragons that NECA did. Man, because I remember them figures. So I got some of those, the big warlord guy and the silver looking one and all those. I like it when they put them on the card backs though. That makes you think.
Yeah. You talking about Warduke?
Yes, Warduke.
Yeah.
Got Warduke.
Yeah.
Yes. But I do see. So I get them, and then later on I go, oh man, they're on different card backs. But then I want to go and grab that too because I love the card back. Like they'll do some like glow in the dark, and I'm like, oh man,
they got tons of glow in the dark, man.
Yeah, so that's tricky. So I'm all over the place on figures, man. If I can afford it, I love all those things, man.
Okay, well, good deal, man. Thank you, Mark, for your time. I know you got another interview and things to do. I'm going to give you a little time to let you go, but before we do. What do you have any figures now you want to show off? Anything that you want to look at?
I'll show off this because it's so this big monster of a figure. Man, feel how heavy that is. That's huge. So I had bought this when they told me that they needed a Violator cover, and the image they gave me was not that great. So I was like, man, I got to figure out how that guy looks because I knew how the old Violator looked, the real skinny one, but this is the new big version.
This guy's a little more buff than I remember.
Oh,
yeah,
he's huge.
Let me put you up there. Show it again.
So he's huge. He's like a Hulk. So this is what I based the I think it's 355 Spawn cover on. I was like, okay, I'll just do a shot of him like right in the middle. So I did that, but yeah, I went out and had to buy this because figures are great references, right? So
they
you close them and everything and hit them with light and everything. When you paint, it's all about lighting. So there's that. And then here's a few things I got next to my camera. I got a gun. I went and bought this when I was going to get Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger cover. I did that. I think it comes out in December or January. So I went and got this. I hadn't opened him though, man. And I
see you're like Tony over there, like keeping your fingers.
I mean, I'll open them. Now, this has been open. I just put it back in there because I was moving them around. But love my Zartan. I just wish he changed color in the sunlight,
Yeah, they've got one that does that. It's just
I saw that. I was tempted to get that one if it's if I can get it cheap somewhere. But yeah, that was to me. Those were the G.I. Joe when they first came out with those. Now they've gotten even better at them. The newer ones they got out. But that's all I got near me right now in my figures. Well, I'll have to come back and show you some other stuff I got.
Absolutely, dude. I definitely want you back on the show. I really appreciate it. Guys, you have anything else to say? Any final thoughts for him?
No, man. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for sharing some of the insight and how you started out and everything. It's quite the story, you know what I'm saying? To like slinging comics, which I know you appreciated and enjoyed, to being on the cover of these comics that, you know what I'm saying, that so many love. That's a pretty awesome story, man.
And a long journey, but it was worth it, man. It's just the longer the journey and harder it was, the sweeter it is when you finally get to where you want to be. So
absolutely, dude.
That's awesome.
And that's where you want to be too. Brooks, you got anything? Any final thoughts for him?
Oh, just good to see you, man. I'm glad to see that you're doing well. You're working. Like I just hope you keep it up, man. Like I
appreciate it.
We're all proud of you, dude.
I know, man. I believe
all this stuff hangs in my room. I have a Mark Spears section now. I'm able to hang things on my walls. So
we'll have to get you like I said, we got the next chapter is we got to get Mark Spears Monsters action figure section.
Yes,
we'll work on that. So
it's coming, man. And I will definitely be part of your design team. Whatever you want, man. I'm about that life.
All righty, man.
Absolutely, dude. Well,
But
thank you for joining us.
I got to run early, but I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks
Thank you for being here. We're the three of us are just going to talk about toys the rest of the time. No big deal.
All right.
You know, thank you for the special, man. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. And I want some more signed stuff from you, man.
All right, man. Track me down. You know where I'm living, so you can track me down.
I will track you down, dude. So yeah, everybody sounds fair. Give a big hand for Mark Spears.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
See you later, man. Be good. I just kicked him out. No big deal. Thank you, Ric Flair Crypto.
What's that thing? What's the Kevin Bacon connection thing called? The 7 degree. What is it?
8 degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. Now, how close are you guys to Todd McFarlane now? You know what I mean? Think about that.
We're super close now.
Yeah, through Mark.
Yeah, just with Mark, man. All I needed is like 5 minutes in a room. I really want to interview Todd McFarlane one day. I just want to be with him, and I want him to tell me about the action figure and the comic book. I want an action figure.
I honestly surprised how many licenses they now have and how great the figures are. Because when they first started, they were great, but they're like not posable and limited line. And his figures, like that's his bread and butter, and that seems to be what he loves the most. And it's been very successful. And man, they have some awesome figures now. I'm not even into the figures, but like I said, I've seen some of his DC stuff and some other stuff. I'm like, oh shit.
He is constantly improved.
Dude.
Like he's even getting wired capes now.
Yeah, see, that's a badass figure. That's what I'm saying, man. There's a night and day difference between like McFarlane 20 years ago, plus the licenses. I mean, he's got a lot of big licenses now.
All his stuff now is just absolutely fantastic. Oh, and he's mostly Batman.
Yeah, he does a lot of DC stuff, and his DC stuff is awesome.
A lot of random stuff, but it's still kind of cool. I really want to talk to him about that, and I want to grill him on why he hasn't made.
I see a third party, by the way, released a new canopy for that Batmobile to fix that Batmobile.
Yeah. So this is the thing. This is a Halloween special. We're going to do a lot more Halloween stuff, but first, I do want to take just not even a break. It's going to be like an interlude to tell you that we have now made 500 subscribers. So thanks to everyone that's out there that has subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, sub up. We've got tons of reviews. We're doing tons of things. I'm really excited. Brooks, Nate, even Manny, who does our thumbnails, they've done a great job of getting everything together. And of course, Hammertime Holshoe, thank you for watching our videos as well and being a subscriber. We have a giveaway that we're doing, and I want to show it off real quick. We are giving this away, so you have to go to the actual video that's on our channel, and the giveaway is for the G.I. Joe Classified Ferret. So we have a ferret that we are giving away, and you need to go with the hashtag Ferret500 to get it. There are a lot of rules. There are not too many rules, but we have to have at least 30 comments. I'm going to try to drop that in the description or in the chat, and go to that video. It doesn't have sound right now because apparently the music I used was copyrighted. I had no clue. But go to the video, subscribe to the channel, put in hashtag Ferret500, and you'll win a chance to get this. We'll get your address. We'll send it to you. All the fun stuff. It's an ATV figure and a Scout figure that's on there as well. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna play the video for it.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Actually.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna play that right now. It just to show you the rules and all the fun stuff. Okay, so it wasn't that much. It's pretty short.
I was more of a Master Universe guy as a kid, but I was envious of my friends who did G.I. Joe because even though the figures are smaller and they didn't have swords, so that didn't appeal to me. they had some of the most badass vehicles.
And the
you know what I'm saying?
vehicles, G.I. Joe vehicles were the shit.
Yeah, no,
they were.
there was some cool vehicles in Master Universe, but
Yeah.
when it came to vehicles, G.I. Joe is where it's at, man.
Oh
G.I.
yeah,
Joe is where it's at, 100%.
absolutely, dude.
So
yeah, I want all the vehicles. I want all the things. I'm getting a Rattler. They had a HasLab Rattler, which is the plane. I can't wait to get that bad boy. So excited. That will be as soon as that comes sometime next year. We're gonna review it. It's gonna be absolutely insane. So, of course, with that interlude out of the way, like I said, subscribe to the channel, do all the fun stuff. We are gonna do our top 5 favorite action figures of Halloween. Now I know Hammertime, you don't have that many or any at all.
I don't have that many. I also need to take a break because I need to pee, but I'll be right back.
No problem. Brooks and I will take over from here.
Yeah,
and they're
Brooks
like,
already
only like
cheating
3
by
people watching
having
now. Everybody left
cute
after
dog.
Mark.
I forgot Brooks's. What's your dog's name, Brooks?
Juju.
That's right. That's right. It's such a cutie, such a cutie. But I'll be right back. But I might have one or two things to share because I did get some stuff when I was in the land of the rising sun when I was in Japan, so I have a little bit to share.
Oh, good. Well, we will see that when you.
You know how to make almond rice?
I don't know how to make it, but I ate it at a maid cafe.
Oh, did they do the magic spell and the ketchup and all that?
Yes, they did, and they drew a little thing on. They drew a cat on there for me, and my friend was trying to explain. So she asked if we were from America, and I said, "Oh yeah, America Gene Des," and she's like, "Oh," and she was talking about Spider-Man. She knew Spider-Man, and he was trying to explain. My friend was trying to explain we're from Alabama. She didn't know where Alabama was, man. She knows like Hollywood and New York. She doesn't know anything about Alabama, but man, the maids. Oh God, those maids. Woo, Lordy. I would eat a maid calf every day if I could afford it. It was just more expensive than a regular
cafes
place.
Here? That's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
I want to eat almond rice.
Fuck this country and I have maid cafes. But I'll be right back.
All right then. All right. Well, Brooks, it's just you and me. So of course, Brooks, it is our top 5, and we're gonna just show these off real quick. We can do this real quick, and we'll be done. So, Brooks, let's do all of your top 5. Show me what you got.
All in one shot?
All in one shot. Let's do it.
Well, I'll start off with my most recent acquisition. I picked this fella up today. He's from the Strange Tales line. This is the Marvel's Dracula.
Yeah, I got mine too. I'm excited.
Yeah, I really like him. I like the sword.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Long sword with like the.
And it's like Marvel's Dracula.
Yeah, I like the armor, like the blood red armor, cape. Not a wired cape, it's a plastic cape, but it kind of works,
Yeah.
And
this
it comes
is like. Go ahead.
It comes with a head, a serious head too, like a more of a just like serious Dracula head, just.
Oh yeah. We're gonna review that. We're gonna review that whole set because that's the Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave.
Yeah. Speaking of Blackheart, I dug out my original Blackheart.
Nice.
Like way back when. I can't remember. I think he was part of a Build-A-Figure wave, like an early one.
I think he was. I'm trying to remember myself.
Maybe Galactus.
I don't know.
Sentinel.
I could probably look it up, to be honest. Let me see. Blackheart. Let's see. We're doing it live.
Yeah, he's actually pretty impressive. He's got a lot of articulation, like for an earlier legend. And his tail's got a little bendability to it. And
he's a part of the Onslaught Build-A-Figure.
Onslaught, okay.
Yeah. So they made a lovely heart. Yeah,
and,
that wasn't my favorite Onslaught. That was like an okay.
Yeah. I mean, and he was when they started kind of scaling them down. Like, the first few were like big, like Giant Man,
right?
Apocalypse, the Sentinel,
right?
The big, they were big boys, but Onslaught was more like he was still big, but he was kind of a shorty big.
Yeah, he really was, and like he wasn't the final form Onslaught.
Yeah, I think it was like his next to last form.
Yeah.
We have like the face and the head that is inside his body. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It was all right, but I like that Blackheart. It's not bad.
Yeah, like he is pretty cool. Like, he has a lot more posability than I remember. Like, which I never paid much attention to this figure, to be honest. I basically got him for the Onslaught piece.
Of course.
But he is pretty cool.
Onslaught anymore.
Yeah.
He's just going.
And considering that he's probably going to be in the Agatha All Along eventually, which I think the Aubrey Plaza character is supposed to be Blackheart. So that's my prediction.
That would make more sense. She has to be.
We're getting a new one too with this Build-A-Figure, which I've gotten all but the legs of so far. I'm looking forward to see how they stack up.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, we're going to review all of it. So we will definitely see how it stacks up.
Yeah. And since I brought out Dracula, I wanted to bring out like kind of a counterpart to him. So this is my Simon Belmont amiibo.
Okay.
Because
we've done a lot of amiibos on the channel. Absolutely.
The Vampire Slayer as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my favorite of the newer waves of amiibo. Well, not exactly new, but he's kind of one of the characters that came out specifically for the newest version of the game, Smash Bros.
Okay.
I love
the way they do you have other amiibo? I mean, do you have other amiibos that we haven't reviewed?
Yeah, I have like a handful. Well, I probably have like 2 videos worth I could probably do of amiibo that we haven't covered yet, and he's one of them. But yeah, like they did Richter too, I think, but I never saw him. But I always preferred Simon. Like Simon was my Belmont from back in the day. Castlevania 1 and 2, like. And Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo, bro.
Yeah. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Yep.
They need to do Castlevania figures, man.
Absolutely. They will eventually. They make everything.
Yeah. So like, if they can make money off of it, then they'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you got to get them to realize that they can make money off of it.
Right. Of course.
And what is Halloween without some scaly guys? And here's my these are my Master Universe Origins scaly guards. As you can see, there's a purple and an orange one.
Yep, and they fight.
And they both glow in the dark, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And they have the cool neon green weapons, which I really love. Like I got my nephew these for Christmas last year, and I think he really liked them. I mean, just the glowing aspect of them alone, I think, is the best selling point.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, my last one is actually a set of Halloween themed figures I've had for a long time. They're basically like they were Taco Bell figures from my buddy George when he worked at Taco Bell as a manager. I think he just like brought them home because like I can see there's like tape on the back from like where I think they were like display models. So they were the ones that would have been like, up on the board to display. But basically it's like a coffin and you press the button.
Ah!
Dracula!
Blah, blah.
And Dracula's one. Of course, we have the Wolfman.
Oh, wow. Yeah, dude.
We got...
I don't remember those.
Yeah, me neither. But like, I just found him one time, and like I've been had him for Halloween. And who's this guy? Frankenstein.
What series is that from?
It was a series they did at Taco Bell like way back when, probably like early 2000s. Here's the zombie.
Wow.
And like, they pop out too. Like they have there's little pegs inside. So you can take the figures out too if you want.
Oh, okay. So they're standalone. I like that. I like that they're not stuck in the okay, I like that.
Yeah, but my favorite is this bro. The Mummy.
he like launched
out. He's the one that jumps out.
There he is. The Mummy. And I love the sarcophagus too. But yeah, those are my Halloween picks.
Those are your Halloween figures.
Yeah.
Good job, dude. I like those. I especially like the coffins. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, those are my favorites.
Yeah, dude.
It feels to me that the stuff they pack in with like meals and stuff is crap nowadays compared to there's some great figures and toys back in the day, like the Nintendo figures and stuff.
I remember like the old Super Mario 3 figures at McDonald's. Like, we
Dude.
were all like, oh, like we all had to have them, you know.
Yeah, dude, they were awesome, man. It just
And
feels
little
like
Goomba with the suction cup hopping thing. Yeah.
Now was that a part of a meal, or I wonder if that was sold separate? Because those are like full size figures.
Oh yeah, those are Happy Meal toys.
No, I'm saying the ones you just showed from Taco Bell.
The Taco Bell ones, yeah. These, I'm pretty sure these were like kids' meal.
Wow,
toys.
that feels like you're getting a whole damn action figure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like you're getting a
Well,
sticker.
Yeah, it's like you get the action figure, you get the case, and it does a little pop-up thing too.
Yeah,
That's
very
a kid's meal toy.
And when you got it, the coffin was full of mild sauce.
Yeah, you open them, it's just like
you pop them open and sauce goes everywhere.
Oh, gotcha.
And kids like get sauce squirted in their eyes, like
Gotcha.
The last promo I remember Taco Bell doing was the Star Wars stuff was pretty cool. They did for the re-releases. Remember that they did all the cool. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They are nice.
The version that everyone complains about.
Shoot, yeah, I like them. I didn't think they were too bad. So, John, did you have anything you wanted to share?
Yeah. When I was in Japan, I picked up a few things. The problem was I picked up Godzilla -1 on Blu-ray. I picked up some games at a secondhand shop, so I was kind of limited to what I could fit in my luggage. So the only thing I picked up, besides some cars, and I don't have those here, is I picked up these guys. They're not much of anything, but I picked up these are to scale with like the if you've seen like the Godzilla toys that are like this big and like rubber Bandai toys, you know what I'm talking about? That don't move. They're not not posable. They got like Gamera and all the Godzilla series. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They're like $15 and they sold them at Toys R Us. You can still get them. And these are the same series and the same scale. So you've got, I don't know, obviously Ultraman is to scale with those, but obviously Kamen Rider's not to scale. With them. And they were 770 yen. They're still on the sticker. But I just thought I needed
770 yen.
I needed that's about $5. So I needed something while I was there. I'm like, oh, this would fit in my bag. Maybe if I squeeze it in there. So I liked Ultraman. You know, I'm into kaiju stuff, but lately I've really been into Kamen Rider more so. And I'm into motorcycles too, so that makes sense that I'd like them. So I picked those up while I was there. And then in addition to that, and not while I was there, I picked up this because I do like Ultraman. I don't know if anybody watched the series on Netflix, not the Rising one, not the new one that's about Ultraman's creation, but there was that one like from 2 years ago or whatever that was like Ultraman's kid.
Yeah.
And he had like almost like Iron Man armor.
Yeah.
I really like that armor. And some people don't like the change from like, well, he's not Ultraman. You know what I'm saying? He's Ultraman's kid. It's custom made armor. But I thought it was a really cool figure. They did a figure arts, I need to open them up and display them. But I just think I really like that armor. You know what I'm saying? I think it's badass.
Oh, no, it's not. I thought that was the long neck one. Now I know.
No, this is the animated series. It is CG from a couple years ago. The long neck is the newer one that's supposed to be like kind of the origin of Ultraman. I almost said Iron Man. Yeah. But this is the one from a couple years ago that's a little more grounded, and then it's about his kid and his kid. But again, his kid doesn't inherit the tool, you know, from the aliens, whatever, that turns into Ultraman. He doesn't have any powers, so he's just gifted some armor. And I really like that armor style. Looks really badass. Now, some people don't like it because they feel it's too much of a departure from the traditional Ultraman. But I was like, oh, I get it. If you were to make Ultraman armor yourself, this is kind of what you would engineer. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so I really like that design, and I had to get something. So I need to take them out and display them with my anime shelf. So, and I have some stuff coming in from Bandai, and when I get that, I'll definitely be on the show. Because again, I don't usually do a lot of figures or statues or anything, but I have some stuff coming in. And so when it comes in, before I even open it, I will arrange a date to be on the show with y'all so I can show off and we can unpackage them, and I can before I put it on the shelf.
It's okay, man. You need to get some Michael Keaton figures, though. I mean,
I do need. I'm thinking about that, man. I do need some Keaton stuff because I have some Kenner stuff from back in the day, but I need some newer Keaton stuff. But I really don't do figures, and that's my big problem right now. Is I've got this room over here is my game room across the way, and it's mostly like Sega and Nintendo stuff. So I need some figures for there. And then the other room where I have my Blu-rays and my game machine, my gaming computer, is mostly all Japanese stuff. So I don't know where I'd put Batman stuff, if that makes any sense.
That makes
Have you
sense.
collected any of the World of Nintendo figures that they've been putting out?
I don't. I might have. Let's see. I have Bowser, I have Donkey Kong, and I have Mario.
So
And
the basics.
the Bowser is big. The Bowser is huge, and he used to be like the centerpiece on under my TV, but I had to move him because there's a Famicom there now. So, but he's gigantic. He even dwarfs the Donkey Kong. So I have a couple of those, and then I have some small Sonic one, the Jack Specifics that are the same scale. I think it's the same company, right? So I have a Mario. I mean, I have a Sonic, and then I was for some reason I was accidentally sent Dr. Robotnik. So now I have Dr. Robotnik and Sonic. So I'm like, oh, that's not so bad, because really I wanted Sonic. But so I do want to get more Sega stuff, just more licensed game stuff to go in that room, because, you know, and I've got some amiibos, of course. And I think you guys have showed off, Brooks in particular showed off some amiibos that you guys have. I have some for Smash Brothers, and I have all the Zelda ones. That's what I should show off, my Zelda collection, because I have a lot of Zelda statues and figures. Maybe we'll do that at some point. Show you my game room and show off my Zelda
Echoes
stuff.
of Wisdom?
I completed Echoes of Wisdom, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I love Echoes of Wisdom. It's great.
It's not what I expected, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, there's definitely more puzzle, because what do you expect?
Yeah.
You know, I definitely struggled that last boss fight, because I had too many of the potion that like recharges like the thing that turns you into Link.
Yeah.
But you don't need that the last boss fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you can actually get through it without using much of the sword fighter mode at all. You know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, in the last boss fight, you can't use that at all, because Link's, you know, spoiler alerts, but Link rejoins you for the boss fight. But I really enjoyed the game. I'm a big Zelda guy. I was pumped for it, but I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did. But definitely check out, if you guys are gamers and you're listening or watching, check out Echoes of Wisdom, which is the new Zelda game. And it was the same company that did you know, Link's Awakening remake.
Yeah, like I never played the Link's Awakening remake, but now I feel like I want to.
Yeah, they did a bunch of stuff for the 3DS. I forget the name of the company. They're a third party, but they pretty much only do Zelda stuff for Nintendo, but they do a pretty phenomenal job. And if that's the franchise I want to work for, like, oh, we're going to hire you to do some conversions and some new games. Like, oh, what franchise working on? Oh, Zelda. Well, shit. That's you know what I'm saying? That's what I'd want to do. So, hell, some of my favorite Zelda games of all time that I think are underrated aren't even made by Nintendo. It's the what are the two games?
CDI games?
No, the ones for the Game Boy that Capcom made for the Game Boy
Echoes
Color.
of Wisdom and Echo.
No, see, I was going to say Echoes. You're throwing me up. Yeah, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons are phenomenal games. And even though they were supervised by Miyamoto, they were made by Capcom, but those are phenomenal games. And they were made by Capcom. I love Capcom too, man. I'm a big Capcom. That's why I need to get some
I know you are. I know
I need to get some Street Fighter stuff.
Once we get stuff like that, we're gonna put more videos out with that stuff.
Oh yeah. I definitely need some Street Fighter stuff in my game room.
Toys
More Mega Man stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing Mega Man too, the Jada toys.
Yep.
That'd be really cool.
That they are. Now, I did want to mention that we the Giant Man figure, not to change the subject, but there's a Giant Man figure that was HasLab that came out recently.
Who the hell's Giant Man?
Giant Man, you know, he's the guy over here. You can't see him. You know, he's Ant-Man, but not he's Hank Pym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They made a HasLab figure of him because there's a big 4. And he's one of the figures that we will be reviewing very soon. I just wanted to throw that out there for everyone, that there will be a Giant Man review soon. Maybe. We'll see. We're going to do a lot more Mega Man stuff. We're going to do a lot of Capcom stuff as it comes. We're going to do a whole bunch of junk. But
that was up until McFarlane started doing the DC stuff. I was really jelly because I'm more of a DC than Marvel guy. I like Marvel. I don't hate Marvel. But I was jealous of this Legacy line because they were always in scale. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There'd be so many different DC things that were never in scale with each other. And I was so jealous of the Marvel. So it's nice seeing, you know, at least for the most part, some of the McFarlane stuff's in scale. But I'm still jealous of that. Of the I guess that's what happens when you get bought up by a toy company, right? Or
very true.
Yeah. But man, I like the Legacy line. Yeah, there's some great great figures. And I've watched some of you guys review, and there's some awesome figures. Do they still do the build a figure thing still?
Yes. Well, yeah. With the Blackheart, the Dracula he just showed off.
Yeah, they're not all build a figures, but they do.
Yeah.
Like they still continue to do build a figure.
I've got Bloodstorm from the Strange Tales wave. She's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
She comes with the Blackheart piece that's in there.
Jesus, it's a big piece.
It's a big old piece, but it's not
that's
as big
his dong.
Yeah, hold on. Let me put it up there. Yeah,
wow, that's a huge dong.
A huge piece. Yeah, it is. It's the dongiest dong you'll ever see. But yeah, it's not bad.
I always thought that was cool too. Unless you're chasing one figure and you're like, oh, I need his arm or whatever, and I can't find figure X or Y. But I always like that if they do a really good series, you're gonna want all those figures anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then you get a bonus of having an extra. Was there a Sentinel at one point in time that was a Build-A-Figure Sentinel? Or am I losing my mind?
I got a HasLab Sentinel that's in front of me. That's over here. And there is a Build-A-Figure Sentinel that is also in front of me. But
there was a
big four. There are four major
the second Build-A-Figure they did after Galactus.
Yeah,
I remember there being a Sentinel. It was pretty.
Sentinel, it's Galactus, it's Apocalypse, and Giant Man.
The one that's like gigantic, like the Galactus size. Though that wasn't a Build-A-Figure, right? The big one. I think you have one that's huge.
Yeah.
Was that Build-A-Figure or was that separate? Okay.
Yeah, they're making another one. Now the Giant Man is also a HasLab, meaning it's a crowdfund, like a Kickstarter. And people funded into making it, or building it. That's what they did with Galactus and they did with the Sentinel. So far, the only one that's missing is Apocalypse. So if they would have to make Apocalypse next after Giant.
I heard they were doing a Kickstarter for a giant build of Brooks. It's going to be a giant Brooks man. Would you buy that?
I mean, if it gets,
they're just going to do like a House of Wax thing. They're just going to cover me in wax, and then
there's a long-haired variant and a short-haired variant. And the long-haired variant's the chase figure. Everybody's trying to get the
long-haired one. Will be the rare one.
Yeah, everybody's trying to get that.
All right. So, all jokes aside, I'm gonna go do mine. I'm gonna show you my top 5 favorite Halloween figures. I'm ending it because I might as well with my stuff. Here we go. I don't know what I got. I forgot. Oh yeah, here we go. So first, since Robbie's not here, say what?
You're embarrassing me. Very unprofessional.
Is that, before you get to that, I was going to ask you before, because you've had it before in the background. Is that a reproduction, or is that the original Ghostbusters?
That is an original Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Okay. Did they ever reissue that? I know they reissued the figures.
Well, I don't know if they reissued it. They probably have. Now, this, the sign on it, I bought from Etsy. I do have the original sign. A friend of mine actually, I bought this from a friend, Turtle. His name, he calls himself Turtle, but his name's Alan. He got me this Firehouse. So I was like, oh yeah, I might as well show it off first. This Firehouse is the original. I think it was the real Ghostbusters when it came out. Yeah, this is the one. The top of the figures. These are all the Hasbro released 6-inch figures. I can't get in any closer. Maybe if I can move my computer.
Well, I was just surprised to see the door and the parts, because whenever I do see them for sale, they're usually missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and it's not. It had the containment unit. So, like, hold on, let me take this out so it's not heavy. All right. So
I didn't mean to sidetrack. I apologize.
No, dude, no. This is what I was showing off. It was gonna be the last thing, but we've seen it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So no, it's all good. This is the Firehouse. There's containment units. If I can get my camera to do that, which I can't. There we go. There are 2 containment units. They slide in and out. God, where's my camera? There it is. And then there's the big containment unit that's in here.
Oh, so you can fit Ecto 1. It's that big enough.
You can put Ecto 1 in there. You can do a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm jealous. I wanted that as a kid. We did have, my brother had the police station for Police Academy, so we kind of used it for our.
It's not. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. But I also have Finster. Finster's from the Ghostbusters, the other Ghostbusters. Let's go, Ghostbusters! Let's go, let's go!
The not real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was the trash one. That was the one with the what was it? The monkey
in the car.
Yeah, that was like what's his name? Larry Storch. I think Larry Storch was in that. The guy from F Troop.
Didn't they own the Ghostbusters name first, though? Weren't they?
They had the Ghostbusters name. That's why they made the real Ghostbusters later.
Yeah.
Because of that. But it's Finster is one of the villains from the Ghostbusters show. And I've had this since I was a kid. So yeah, he was going to be one of my top 5. But yeah, these are the other 2 things. But Finster, which I was shocked that I found like randomly in my parents' house. And I was like, oh God, it's Finster. I need this. And I think he had something that was in his back because he has 2 holes there.
Oh yeah.
4. Not a clue.
And it could have been it never had anything like they were going to and they didn't sell it. You know what I'm saying? It could have been something that was scrapped for all you know.
But I never had these toys. Like I never had this. And like I think like I got this at like Kmart or something because I was like, oh, Ghostbusters. And then I realized it wasn't a Ghostbusters. I was like, wait. Yeah.
You were bamboozled.
Yep. Hoodwinked.
This isn't Fearsome Flush.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But since we're getting on to Robbie and Robbie's not here, I did like get his transforming Dracula. I don't know what it's called. What is this? Draculus. This is the Universal Monsters Dracula. He transforms into a big bat and he's got cape.
Oh, the bat makes sense. I was like, what is he? It's like he transforms into a washing machine. A bat makes fucking sense.
A bat's washing machine.
I long to wash your clothes.
But that's his like bat head.
Oh, that's pretty badass. That makes sense to transform into a bat. That makes me happy. That makes sense. There's some weird as much as I like Transformers, there's some weird transformation that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
But he's like I don't know if this was like another Transformer. I have no clue, but
and they repurpose him or something.
He's a bat. He's repurposed. Most of the Universal monsters are repurposed. There's a Frankenstein one that came out that I need to find. I'll find as well. But he is expensive now. He was like, at one point, I got him at Target for like $5, and I bought 2 of them, and lost one at the Target. Like left it at Target. And then I went to go back to get another one. I couldn't. And like Robbie was like, I want one. I can't find it. So I gave him this one. And then I just took it back so I could review it or just show it off for my top 5. But yeah, there's this. He transforms. I'm not doing that on camera. It's a lot of work. He also comes with like a fang and a gun. Like he has a fang.
Of course, Dracula has a gun. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, he comes with I was like, that's very confusing.
Count Dracula believes in his Second Amendment rights.
That's right. That's right. And then next we got, I guess we'll go to this. This is my NECA mummy. And he is glow in the dark.
Oh, that's pretty fucking awesome.
So if I get my black light out and I get him all black lighty, he turns a lovely shade of green.
Dude, that looks awesome. That steps it up because I was like, oh, it's an okay figure. I mean, they got the detail, but wasn't blown away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But dude, the black light, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they came out with these last year. And for some strange odd reason, I bought one. And I have the other one in the box, but I was like, I want this more. Like, I have all the others as well. There's a Wolfman and there's a Frankenstein, but I can't find them right now. But this is the one that shines in the black light the most. So
is there a creature from the Black Lagoon from that same series or no?
No. But on that note, I do. There was another like company, and I forgot the name of the company, even though I have the box right here and it's in the dark now. I'll show off my other figure. But yeah, I have my creature too.
Nice.
I have a creature in the Black Lagoon, and he is also.
Oh, badass.
So he has got his he is so clean. I love this one. This is, and the creature next to the Wolfman is probably my favorite Universal monsters.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing for me, man. Wolfman and the creature
Dun, dun,
are my
dun.
favorite.
Dun, dun, dun! Yeah, he's so clean. I love him. I have the toy company like right in front of me, but I can't like read right now. Let me see. It says Universal Creatures with the Black Lagoon. I have no clue, but this is the box. But he comes with a net and another head that's more open than the Gillman head.
The weird thing is he comes with a net Funicello. Remember her?
As he should. As he
like,
should.
why is she packaged with the
Right.
creature? No, that's freaking awesome. That would be on my list to get for sure.
I love it. I love it so. Let me see the name of it now. I can see in the dark. Let's see now. I can't remember. It doesn't say. It just says Universal Monsters. I'm guessing it's just Universal Monsters. It's from Jada Toys.
Oh, it's Jada. Okay.
It's Jada. It came from the same people that made that Mega Man and all those freaking awesome Street Fighter.
Yeah, I'm tempted to pick up that Mega Man because it seems I've looked at some other Mega Man figures and models and stuff, and that seems the most reasonably priced. And plus, you have the different pieces, so you can set them up how you want. I don't have enough Capcom stuff in my game room, so definitely.
The next wave is coming out with a different version. It's like I think it's Bomb Mega Man.
Yeah, they're making Bomb.
Like they might be doing different versions of Mega Man.
They're doing a whole bunch of stuff, man. All right, and finally, I just want to get this one out of the way. After all this time, now I have a recreation of it, but I've actually found an original, and this is my original Ecto 1.
Ah, nice, dude. We saw one at Scarefest, and it was not that good a condition.
Wow. Yeah,
we saw an OG one. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, this is not bad at all. And I got all my real Ghostbusters. Of course, these are the reprints that they got from Walmart. And I have this is my Slimer from the Ectotron, the transforming Ecto 1. It came with this Slimer, and I was like, oh yeah, he goes well with the other ghosts that came with the other sets. So I was like, yeah, I put him with the Firehouse. He goes in the Firehouse.
I love it, man. I love it. It'll fit right in here. Yeah.
I have the Ghost Buggy too, but it's in the other room, and I don't feel like getting it. It's a lot of work. But yeah, this fits perfectly in the original Firehouse. So I was like, I finally have an original Ecto 1, and I finally have an original Firehouse.
Yeah, you could leave the doors open and have it parked there, and you could see it.
And it's
dude,
awesome.
I love that. Yeah, I was surprised to see one for sale at the thing, and like I said, it was not that good a shape, and it was expensive.
Yeah, it cost you a pretty penny, but this one I got lucky. This was really lucky, and I will not disclose how I got it because it's a lot of work.
The only Ghostbusters stuff I currently have is I have a Steak Puff Marshmallow Man. That's the exact same scale as my kaiju stuff. So he's with Godzilla and Gamera. He fits so perfect because he's a kaiju. He's probably the most famous American kaiju, right?
He is.
So he fits the scale with those. So he's with Gamera, he's with Godzilla, he's with Mecha Godzilla, and he looks like he just fits with them so perfectly.
Well, King Kong's an American kaiju, right?
Oh, that's right. The OG kaiju. You're right. It's King Kong. Yeah. Rain will ruin it, Brooks.
Hey, I can't have you spreading misinformation like that, bro. It hurts my reputation.
My goodness. Well, guys, that's it. Since we didn't have our other guests to do their show and tells, we will have to definitely scold them going forward. But I think we had a great show.
Shame.
Yeah. Shame. Yeah. Thanks, Hammertime Holshoe, for being here. You want to plug anything or say anything or
nothing, man? I appreciate people tuning in, and I'm really digging the channel. I hope you have more growth. I see it picking up. You know, you guys are passionate about figures, and I'm not into it, but there's some stuff I'm telling you, man. Like, maybe I need a Chun-Li, or maybe I need more Master Universe. The Turtles Master Universe stuff looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, Turtles of Grayskull is fucking awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, because Master Universe was my jam when I was a kid, man. Especially that Hordak.
Yeah, who knew I wanted an April O'Neil?
Dude,
that was the Sorceress.
Dude, it's so these are great freaking figures, man. So I'm probably gonna end up picking that's the one I want the most. Is that Hordak?
He's at Walmart. Well, maybe if you find him, but yeah, we did a whole review on these, and I'm still tripping out that they make stuff like this.
Yeah,
and they're making more. They're doing a whole nother wave with whole new sets of Turtles. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, all right, I guess Turtles of Grayskull is popping off.
Well,
So,
between
yeah.
Hordak and Skeletor, I think like 80s action figures, I think Master Universe had the best bad guys. That's my
Yep.
opinion. Of course,
They
I'm
did.
biased. That was my favorite was Master Universe stuff. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I was really also into superpowers, just like Mark was. I watched Super Friends and then picked up superpowers figures. And so that's why I was DC biased, because I grew up with that cartoon and those figures. You know what I'm saying? And I like Marvel stuff, but that stuff was really influential on me as a kid. And so I love me some superpowers. But all the way, dude, Master Universe, I'm happy they brought back the stuff. I have the new Castle Grayskull because it was gifted to me. And I picked up some figures as well to go with the Castle Grayskull. And of course, Castle Grayskull came with that sorceress. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah, it came with the variant. So I picked up some figures. I may end up picking up some more just because you guys are really pushing me, especially that Hordak. So
You
guys are
Snake
going to
Mountain?
cost me some money.
Absolutely. I get it. Well, we're almost at that point. Brooks, you got any final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
No, I guess since it's too late to tell people to vote, I don't have anything to say anymore.
You're right. Well, I mean, we got this ferret, man. You can
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
go
that,
and
yeah.
subscribe and do whatever you have to do. That's a good giveaway, man. That's awesome.
Win this ferret. Nate gave us this ferret from Huggy's Toy Shop. Check out Huggy's Toy Shop on Facebook. We are surprised that he was able to get us this. Vote for Ferret 500. Hashtag Ferret 500 for this. We are. I'm just glad we got to 500. We need to get to 1,000 eventually, I guess, and get monetized for this. There are a lot of suggestions we need to work on, but other than that, yeah, keep liking, sharing, subscribing, guys. We really appreciate everything. Thank you. Very special thanks to Mark Spears for being here and letting us interview him for an hour. This has been our their Halloween special. I hope you guys tune in for our future shows, and of course, do all the regular stuff that we mentioned, and of course, get out there and go.